Okay, this is the review for chapter 3. Here we go. Problem number 1 says 5 to the 1/3 divided by 5 to the 4/3. Now we remember if you have x or any number to the nth power, or I'll say a power, over x to the b power, that simplifies to a minus b. That's a basic law of exponents that we know.
Yeah.
So here I have the same base. So this is 5 to the 1/3 minus 4/3. Now lucky us, we're so lucky, these already have common denominators, so I don't even need to make a common denominator. That is equal to 5 to the negative 3/3. Negative 3/3 often goes by its street name, -1.
-1.
So this is 5 to the -1. But we know, because we are exponent experts, that the -1 means it's a fraction. You have to move it downstairs 1/5.
1/5, I meant.
And that is the answer to problem number 1. Question number 2. 6 root 12 minus 4 root 75. Now what we need to do, these are not like terms. So we need to see if we can simplify them so that they are like terms. And if we can, then we can subtract them. If we can't simplify them to make them like terms, then we're done. So let's see if we can simplify them. What goes into 12? 2 and 6, but 6 is really 2 and 3. So 2, 2, and 3. So if I take out these 2, right, 1 will come out, and that's going to be 12 root 3 simplified. Right, what goes into 75? 75 is 25 times 3. 25 is 5 times 5. So you have 5 times 5 times 3. The 5 will come out. The 3 stays in because it doesn't have a pair, so it can't come out. So this is 5 times 4, which is 20 root 3. And now, voila, we have like terms, and we can combine them. So this is going to be 12 minus 20, which is a -8 root 3. -8 root 3 is the correct answer here.
Guys, calm down.
Problem number 3. The cube root of -27 x to the 9th. All right, now, I need to first do the prime factorization of -27. Now, that would be -3 times -3 times -3. Now, if I wanted to write this out, I could write this out as x, 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 9 times. Right? And this is a 3, a cube root. So I need 3's to come out. So that's 1, 2, 1 comes out. 3, groups of 3, 1 comes out. Groups of 3, 1 comes out. Groups of 3, 1 comes out. There's nothing left inside. So this is -3x cubed. Now, there is another way you could write this or do this. So I'm going to do it one more time before I take questions. Cube root of -27x to the 9th is the same as the cube root of -3 cubed x to the 9th, which is the same as -3 cubed x to the 9th, whole thing raised to the 1/3 power, because that is what this means. Cube root means 1/3 power. That's what the cube root means. So now, because this is multiplying, it's raising a power to a power, we're going to multiply it in. So this is going to be -3 to the 3 times 1/3, x to the 9 times 1/3. And 3 times 1/3 is 1, so that's -3 to the 1st power. 9 times 1/3 is 3, so that's x to the 3rd. This is -3x to the 3rd. Right? So those are the two ways that this can, two of probably many different ways that you can solve this problem. Here we go. Question number 4 is the square root of 9a to the 4th all over 2, right? So the first thing I want to remember is this is the same as the square root of 9a to the 4th over the square root of 2, because that's how that works, right? Square roots can be taken to the numerator and the denominator when they're like that. And of course, everybody knows that the square root of 9 is 3. And the square root of a to the 4th is a squared all over the square root of 2. Now you might be tempted to be like, hey self, I'm done. Woohoo! But no, don't fall into that trap, because denominators need to be whole, positive, and rational. The denominators need to be whole, positive, and rational. And this guy right here is not rational. No, he ain't. So what we're going to do is make him rational by multiplying the top and the bottom by the exact same thing that's already on the bottom, by the square root of 2. Now on top we're going to have 3 square root of 2. We always put the numbers first and then the variables. And on the bottom we're going to have, what's the square root of 2 times the square root of 2?
4.
2.
Oh, yes, it could be 2.
It could be 2. It is the square root of 4, which then reduces to 2. All right, so that is question number 4.
Yeah.
All right, we have f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 5x plus 7. And g of x is equal to negative x squared minus 5. Remember that f and g are just names. So it's like saying Frank and George. And they want to say, what is Frank plus George? So wherever I see f of x, I put in f of x. And wherever I see g of x, I put in g of x. And now I collect like terms. Starting with the biggest exponent first. That's 3x squared minus x squared. That's 2x squared. Then there's no other x terms, so I leave that as 5x. And now I have 7x minus 5, so plus 2. And that is the answer to number 5. Problem number 6. Again, f of x, Frank, is 3x squared minus 5x plus 7. G of x is negative x squared minus 5. And here we're going to take Frank minus George. So wherever I see f of x, I'm going to put where the numbers for f. Then I'm going to do a minus. And this is really important. This is the key thing on this problem. I'm going to put parentheses, and then I'm going to put the George there. Because I am subtracting all of George out, not just part of George.
Yeah.
So now we're going to have 3x squared minus 5x plus 7. And I'm going to distribute this negative. Minus a minus is a plus. Minus a minus is a plus. And now I'm going to collect like terms. I'm going to start with the biggest terms first. These guys. So that's 4x squared. Then the next term, the x's, there's no other x there, so that's minus 5x. And lastly, the constants, plus 12. So 4x squared minus 5x plus 12 is my answer.
That's what I got.
That's what I got.
Right, here we go. This time, f of x is 2x squared plus 3. And g of x is the square root of x minus 1. And the first thing that they want you to find is f of g of x. Okay, I want to remind you that that is the same thing as f of g of x, right? These are two different notations that mean the exact same thing.
Do you multiply them or do you plug it in?
No, you plug it in.
That's what I thought.
If you're going to multiply, it would have a solid dot, or they'd be right next to each other.
That's what I thought.
Right? Right. When it has an open dot, that is composition.
Someone just died.
No one died. We are recording here, people. Quiet down.
I'm sorry.
Good grief. Now, we're going to take f of g, wherever I see g, I'm going to put that inside f. See how that's f of g of x.
I do.
Now, wherever I see an x in g, I'm going to put an x in f. I'm going to put g.
Yes.
Oh.
So this is the x in g right here, or in f, excuse me. And wherever I saw that x, I replaced it with this right here. So I put that inside here. So now, I'm going to take 2 times, this squared is x minus 1 plus 3. Remember, squares are inverses of each other. 2x minus 2 plus 3. It's called distributing. I distributed the 2. And then 2x plus 1. And voila, that is my final answer.
Let's go.
Now we have f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 3. And g of x is equal to the square root of x minus 1. And they want us to find g of x divided by f of x.
Yes.
And this is equal to the square root of x minus 1 over 2x squared plus 3. Now, this denominator is whole, positive, and rational. There's nothing I have to do to change this. Done and done. That's all I need there.
That's on my paper. I saw.
Numero number 9.
6.
9 says f of x is equal to 1/3 x minus 5. And they would like us to find the inverse of the function, and then to say if the inverse is also a full function, which means that it doesn't have any plus or minus square roots, essentially, is what we're looking for in that. So how do we find the inverse of the function? Well, Jasmine knows.
Yes, she does.
Y and X.
You switch the x and y. So this is the same as, that's okay.
I mean, you could do that, I guess.
All right, so f of x is standing for the y. Now I'm going to switch the x and y's.
Yeah.
And now I need to solve for y. To solve for y, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. That goes away there.
Yeah.
So I got 3x equals y minus 5. Now add the 5 to both sides. And I have 3x plus 5 equals y.
Equals f of x.
So f inverse of x, inverse, is equal to 3x plus 5. This little 1, negative 1 up here for function notation means inverse. So now you will see here, is this a function? Is 3x plus 5 a function?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It surely is, because it's just a line. It's slope-intercept form. Excellent. 10 on this is the last one on this video that we're going to do. F of x equals 2x cubed minus 1. So I'm going to first put y for f. Then I'm going to switch the x and y. So x equals 2y cubed minus 1. And now I need to solve for y. Add the 1 to both sides.
Divide the 2.
And then
We divide the 2. Excellent.
and then cube root.
And then we need to cube root.
Yeah, cube it.
Cube.
So we have the cube root
Oh, this is not a function.
of x plus 1 all over 2. And it is a function. Cube roots are still functions. So the only time that you would not have a function is if this wasn't, if you were taking an even power root, like the second root or the fourth root or the sixth root. Then it wouldn't be a function.
So technically we don't have to do the math.
Yes, we did.
Well, yeah, you still have to say what the inverse would be.
Not
It can still have an inverse even if the inverse isn't a function. Right, but
Oh,
on
it's
both
just
of
finding
these
the
are
inverse. Okay.
functions, so you would
Yeah,
say yes and yes for
Yeah, I
that.
finished reading the instructions.
All right, we're gonna stop here and play a little bit of a review game.